You know, life has its ups and downs. Turn your pretty face to an ugly frown. Seems that when I fix one thing.
Hello, welcome to The Awakening. I'm your host, Angela Brown. Today's topic for discussion is healthy eating habits, and my guest today is Patricia Leacock-Ballish. And she's come here today to share with you, healthy eating habits, and she also has a new book that she wants to talk about. And I really hope some of you out there who are overweight, and I'm sure there are many, I'm not trying to put you down, but sit back, put your feet up, listen, and if you want something to drink, drink some water for a change, and watch the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm having you here. Tell me about your book.
Well, the book is called Sensible Eating, Why You Need to Master Your Food Choices and Take Control. And it is about why we should eat healthy. It's about choosing your foods wisely. And it's about eating healthy in all situations, like at work or on the go, running for traveling, or in any situation at all. And I also talk about baby stepping, and baby stepping is a way of slowly changing your eating habits rather than just rather than jumping and doing it, and then you get a little bit depressed about not being able to taste the food that the way you want to taste it. You know, a certain amount of food that you want to eat or the taste that you're accustomed to, it would be you're slowly changing the way you're eating. So that's one way. And also I talk in there about diabetes and about obesity and how they impact your lifestyle.
Okay, as a little girl, were you always conscious about what you ate?
No, I wasn't.
Well,
actually, I was the way they describe it, as a chubby little girl, a chubby baby. I was also a chubby teenager. And when I reached like my middle to late 20s, early 30s, I was not thin, and I was concerned about that. And I started changing my eating habits. And of course, I'm a registered nurse, so I know a little bit about nutrition. Not as much as a registered dietitian, but we had to do a nutrition course, so I know about that. And also, many years of working with patients in med-surg, I was able to see patients suffer with conditions because of unhealthy eating.
Did you just ever open your mouth, Patricia, and say, hey, look, you're doing that wrong? I can show you another way.
You try to tell the patients, do you mean the patients?
The patients.
You try to, yes, of course, you try to teach the patients the way to eat healthy. And many times the doctors tell the patients, this is the way I want you to eat. And the nurses reinforce to the patients, this is the way that you should be eating. And hopefully you hope that they follow through and do what they're supposed to do.
What would you say is a good breakfast?
Oatmeal is very nutritious.
Oatmeal, yes.
It's very nutritious, especially the one that you make from scratch.
Yes.
If the instant, the one you cook, the instant is not bad, but that is not as healthy as the regular one that you just boil and cook.
Because you can get 60 seconds or 60 minutes, something like that. 6 minutes is really easy to do. Quaker Oats.
Yes.
I like that too.
That one is not bad. It's better than. I'm not saying that you can't have eggs and bacon every once in a while, but the thing is you have to be able to controlling your eating habits include not having a fattening meal every day, because you're going to every once in a while have let's say some meal that is fairly high in calories or sugar, but if you have that maybe once a month, that's not bad. But the problem comes if you're going to be consistently doing that. That's where we run into problems.
That's a habit if you're doing it every single day.
Exactly, yes.
What do you think about this no egg stuff? You can buy it in a can and shake it and put it in a frying pan. no yolk eggs and stuff like that. They're all diet stuff.
Well, yeah, that depends on the person. You know, if you want to do that, that depends on you. But I believe, though, that people should always check with their physicians, especially if you're under physician's care. You should always check with your physician to make sure that you're following the correct diet that he wants you to follow, or that it is okay to eat something or other.
What I hear, too, from a lot of people, some of them are my friends, that if there's something running in the family, say mom died of a heart attack or dad did, they'll say, oh, I don't really care because I'm going to die the same way. It's hereditary. No matter what I do, I'm still going to get it.
Well,
what's your feelings on that? I think it's dumb, okay? I think it's dumb.
Well, many conditions are hereditary, but just because it's hereditary, you know, a person shouldn't just say, oh, you know, I think that's a cop-out, really.
So do
I. To say, okay, I'm going to, my mother had diabetes and she died from diabetes. That doesn't mean that you're going to die from diabetes. What you need to do is to make sure that you try to live as healthy a lifestyle as possible by eating healthy, just like my book says, sensible eating, and choosing your foods wisely, making sure that you're monitoring what you eat, and hopefully following your physician's orders.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about what you have in your book.
The book talks about...
Well, first of all, why did you do this? Why?
I did it because I'm passionate about healthy eating. And as you know, the last couple of years, all you saw in the media was about how obesity, the incidence has increased in the last few years. Children are becoming more obese now, and I know that children are, the reason why children are a little bit obese now more so is because they don't get out and play, they don't get out and exercise. But it also has to do with the food choices that we're making. And the book talks about grocery shopping skills, changing your eating habits by baby stepping. Baby stepping means, as we said earlier, gradually changing your eating habits rather than just suddenly drastically changing. You gradually change. It talks about vitamins and minerals and the different types of vitamins and minerals that are found in which foods. It talks
Do you believe
about
in just eating foods with the vitamins in it, or taking vitamin supplement as well?
You can take vitamin supplements, but the best way you can get your vitamins and minerals are in the foods.
Really?
And it's also the way you prepare your foods. For instance, if you're cooking vegetables, you don't overcook the vegetables.
You just
try
steam them.
not to overcook the vegetables. And it is said, studies show that many vitamins and many fruits and vegetables, the vitamins and minerals are found under the skin.
Really?
You know, so, but everybody cannot eat, you know, skin of vegetables and fruit. So that's not for everybody. But if you just steam your vegetables, you rather than just boil them until they're really soft, then you know you.
I like them when they're crunchy anyway.
But that's the best way, really.
Yeah, I like that anyway.
Unless, of course, you know, if you can't eat them like that, because everybody can't eat something that is crunchy, and you know, it may be difficult for some people.
I would rather have a huge salad for my dinner than anything else.
Well, you have to have a balanced diet, though.
I know.
So you have to have the carbs and the protein, you know, so you still have to have those things. Anyway, the book also mentions diabetes and obesity. There's a chapter in there devoted to those two topics, and mostly because if a person has those conditions, they end up with other medical conditions because of those conditions, like heart disease and hypertension.
What makes this book so unique?
The book is unique because there are many books out there that are wonderful, but this book it doesn't only talk about foods. It talks about how you choose your foods. It talks about how the foods help you health-wise. It talks about grocery shopping skills. It just compacts everything in one book. 108 pages.
108 pages?
Yes. And apart from that, it describes how the foods help you and help your body. And it talks about the way diabetes impacts on your body. So it has everything in there. And then the fact that I'm a registered nurse helps me to put the book together the way it's put together, with some medical information in there as well. And I also have a bibliography in there, and I also have, I try to make it as reader-friendly as possible.
Good.
So that people would understand exactly what they're reading, and they wouldn't become bored.
What do you think about water?
Water is wonderful, and I'm glad you asked that question, because
I drink 20 glasses a day, 28 ounce
water
glasses of water
is
every
so
day.
good. And again, in my book, I talk about fluids, a section on fluids, and I mentioned that it is so important to drink water rather than soda.
Oh, yes.
Because in sodas you have empty calories. With water, you're flushing your system, you're flushing your kidneys, you're moisturizing your skin, your hair, your brain. You know, it's very good for you, and it gets rid of all the waste matter, or many waste matters in your body as well.
Right.
So
I've had a lot of people, well, when I was away on vacation to this past week, I talked with people about your book. And they said, I'd like to ask for you to ask her this one question. So I said, and just about all of my friends said the same thing. What makes you an expert?
I would not say
You're not an expert.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert, because we're always learning every day. But and for instance, there are gourmet chefs, and they're registered dietitians, and we need them. But I'm a registered nurse. I had to do a course in nutrition when I was in my training, and because of the many years of nursing that I have, working with patients, I have seen many people with conditions that would not have been there had they been eating healthy. And because I am so passionate about eating healthy myself, and you know, I mean, every day I'm not going to eat the healthiest of meals, but then I'm not going to.
Don't you fall off the list once in a while?
Oh,
though?
you do.
You're
Absolutely,
human.
you're human. You
You're
will.
really normal, yeah.
But then you get back on, and you realize, wait a minute, I did eat a lot. I did have a heavy meal yesterday with a dessert. So tomorrow I won't have a dessert. As a matter of fact, I won't have a dessert for the next 3 days.
Because I can feel it in my stomach if I eat something I'm not used to.
Absolutely,
You can really feel
your
it.
body, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because your stomach is accustomed to a certain type of food. And if you go and eat something that is really rich when you're not accustomed to
And
eating
when you're not used to having it for a long, long time.
Yes. So the fact that that my nursing experience, and I have practiced cooking healthy, and watching what I eat, and watching how I shop for foods.
How do you shop for food?
That helps me.
How do you shop for food?
Well,
Tell me.
you shop for foods. If you want to shop healthy, you make a list for one thing.
Exactly.
And you also go and look in your fridge, your cupboards, and see what you need. And then you go and you shop for food, and making sure that you purchase vegetables and fruits, and fresh fruits and vegetables. If you have to, you can do canned vegetables, making sure that you look at the
amount of sodium.
labels. Because if you're not looking at labels, you don't know how much sodium is in each can of whatever you're buying. Processed foods tend to have a high sodium content, and you have to watch the fats and the saturated fats. So it is very important to look at labels as well.
I do not like fried foods.
Fried foods.
I broil. I do, seriously. I really do.
It is very important to do that too. You broil, you bake, you steam. You stay away from fried foods, because fried foods are very unhealthy for you.
Yeah, they are. What do you have for breakfast, if you don't mind my being so nosy?
For breakfast, oatmeal. I like Special K.
Me too.
And so I have Special K, alternate oatmeal and Special K, and I like Honey Bunches every once in a while.
Do you?
Which that's my my downfall.
I like shredded wheat.
But I do like oatmeal and
Do you put real
Special
milk
K.
on your oatmeal, or 1% or 2%?
I use soy milk.
Soy milk, cool. That's good. That's good.
Yes.
Now I've never tried soy milk. Is it tasty?
Well, it depends on the type you buy. There's one called Silk.